yourself. Hey, everybody. It's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me, as always, is the James Woods to my Chris Cooper, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me. That sucks.
Yeah.
that just sucks.
You're the worst.
Yeah, I don't even have anything good.
Yeah.
Ooh, pizza candy.
That's the only
pizza
thing.
candy.
Yeah, exactly. James was high. That's all he's known for. And Nate, that means you can. You know what? You can be another just terrible version. You can be John Voight. How about that?
Oof.
Oh, golly. You know what he's in? That awful Mission Impossible film.
You know what? I'm going to change it out. Donald Sutherland. That's who you can be.
That's pretty good.
I think. Did he get canceled though, or
No.
Okay.
You're thinking of Don Knotts.
Don Knotts got canceled. Oh, touch it.
Too far.
This is my incredible Mr. Limpet.
I don't even think that sounds like Don Knotts, by the way.
Oh, but it is.
It's me, Don Knotts.
Yeah.
That's how he sounds.
No, that's literally not how he sounds.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he definitely sounds like
No, he
that.
sounds like
No,
that.
he does.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Skipper, we're stuck on an island.
That's not even Don Knotts.
This is, again, my point proven. You guys don't even know who Don Knotts is.
I know who Don Knotts is. He's
You
the
don't.
incredible Mr. Limpet.
Yeah, he saw a ghost.
What?
Yeah, he's like, there's a movie where he's famously he saw a ghost.
All right, moving on.
What's it called?
Guys, welcome to Go Flix Yourself. This is a movie podcast where we talk about the latest movies that we've assigned each other. We also talk about the latest movies we've seen. We also talk about some trailers, and every once in a while we talk about an interesting topic, and every once in a while we play a game. And Brad Oman's here. He writes for Slash Film. Nate Laux is here. He likes movies. I'm here. I'm Ben Conowitz. I like movies too.
Yeah.
And now you're all caught up.
And Brad's back, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back here in the studio.
Yeah, I'm back in person. I'm not dying anymore. You might be able to still hear a little bit of it in my voice.
No. Voice of an angel.
But yeah, the flu was rough this year, guys. If you haven't gotten your flu shot, please go out of your way to get it because it's a nasty one.
Did you ever think you might be dying?
No. But it definitely got to a point where I felt so shitty that it just
You wanted to die?
yeah. It just stressed me out because last week especially, I just had a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done for work because we're coming up on year end stuff, so we're doing best of lists and things like that. I had stuff to get ready for Christmas, because my girlfriend's coming back from Utah this week and had to get a lot of stuff ready.
We're finally going to get to meet her.
Oh my God. And it's just, I was just overwhelmed and all I could do was lay in bed and be sick. And I just felt terrible and I was just sleeping so much and it was awful. So yeah, don't get the flu. It's bad this year. I got flu A, which apparently is a pretty nasty one. So, get your flu shots. Take care of yourself. Don't be sick around the holidays.
You had the flu, eh?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I don't even want to do this podcast anymore.
Hey,
It used to make me happy.
I don't like who you've become ever since you had the flu A.
You know, I had a near-death experience, and now I just don't want to waste my time. This is my Banshees of Inisherin moment.
I just don't.
I don't want to be around you guys anymore.
Well, it's we're glad
I do look like Colin Farrell.
Die of the, and I look like Brendan Gleeson for sure.
Oh, I was gonna say that goat.
No, the goat's adorable, Nate.
Man, come on, you guys are so mean. I was just trying to set it up that I was Brendan Gleeson
Well, no, he'd
with
be Brendan
smaller
Gleeson.
ears.
No, I mean,
If he's breaking up with us and he doesn't want to see us anymore.
that man has gigantic ears.
His ears are so big.
No, literally.
Pause the podcast. Pull them up on your phone. Brendan Gleeson ears, and you're gonna go, God damn! You might pull up.
His ears are the size of a normal man's hand.
It's like it got stung by a bee and it swelled up, but it didn't.
We also host a SNL podcast, and Gleason was on an SNL episode, and it got to the point where I stopped paying attention to the sketches because
Honestly.
his ears were just. I'm like, are they real? Or is that part of
you were probably too old for all that, right?
I did not watch all that.
No, I didn't.
So all that was was a big thing for me when I was a kid. It's like the kid version of Saturday Night Live that was on Nickelodeon. Kenan Thompson was on it. There were Josh Server was another kid on it.
Don't know who that is.
Drake and Josh?
No, it's different Josh.
Yeah, of course.
He played a character.
Good try though, buddy.
I think his name was just Earboy, and he had ears that were as big as his head. They were huge, and I think Brendan Gleeson's ears are actually the size of those fake ears from that show.
It's uncomfortable.
If you think Earboy is funny, let me introduce you to Goat Boy.
Oh no,
He's right wing up your alley, Brad. But again, one more time, it looks like somebody took a bicycle pump and pumped up a normal human ear and then let it all out and deflated it, but the ear stayed that size.
But you're getting mean. I think Brendan Gleeson's a great
No,
actor.
he-
All right.
It has nothing to do with his acting. He's amazing. We love him, but
Yeah,
he
the
also,
ears don't keep him from being a great actor.
It just
I
if
mean,
anything, that's a testament to how good of an actor he is. The fact that I don't pay attention to his ungodly big ears.
all I'm saying is there's a very, very good chance right now that Brendan Gleeson can hear us right now.
That's a good point. That's
Okay,
a good
that's
point.
fair. Moving the hell on. Brad, did you bring a sponsor? Are we sponsored this week? Is there a show?
We are.
Am I
sponsored?
paying the bills this week?
You
or
know,
no?
and here's the thing. We need to replenish our fluids
Don't say it like that.
all the time. You want to make sure that you are full up on electrolytes and vitamins and minerals. And one of the best ways to do that is with 7-Eleven's Replenish Zero. There's no sugar in it. It tastes just like a delicious Gatorade. This flavor is orange mango. And so if you need to replenish your fluids after you've
Pedialyte.
after you've drained your body of all the liquid in it, whether it's from sweating
This
or
is not-
urinating
Okay, just-
or
or-
spitting up
no
or
sponsor this week. There's no sponsor this
or
week. We're just
putting your ham in your sandwich, you want to replenish your fluids.
putting your ham in
You want to replenish your fluids, guys. So Replenish Zero from 7-Eleven. This is the zero sugar version, so it's healthy for you. The one that is not zero sugar has a lot of sugar in it, so don't have that one.
That reminds me of Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura were on their stupid podcast, and Tom Segura looked over and was like, "Bert, you're drinking a lot of water today," because he had this huge, like 64-ounce mug of water with him, but he found out it wasn't water; it was Kool-Aid. He was still making like grape Kool-Aid and drinking 64 ounces of it.
and like
yeah.
actually putting the sugar in it.
oh yeah,
Stuff
the
like that.
full bore. Like, and he just thought,
See, this is 0 calories. It's got E, B3, B5, B6, bingo. No artificial flavors, no synthetic colors, no
Okay,
high
wait,
no
stop,
high
stop,
fructose
stop,
corn
stop, stop,
syrup.
stop. No artificial flavors. How are they flavoring that?
yeah,
you just said it's
got-
like mango.
It's got
Is
artificial
it just
flavoring
like
in
cut mango in there or
You
what?
can't say
No,
that.
they probably just have actual fruit juices in it. I'll bet.
I bet not.
No,
You don't know anything about stuff like this. Though.
it can't have actual fruit juice in there and be 0 calorie. Fruit juice has
It has
sugar,
calories,
natural
yeah.
sugar.
No, that's not true. That's anyway, guys.
Healthiest
I
thing
think you're
Brad's
being
ever had.
hoodwinked.
No, this is
Bamboozled.
It's very Bamboozled is my favorite energy drink. But no, this is good for recovering.
Well, thanks to 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge new location in our small town here. We're very thankful to have them, and honestly, that's why they sponsored the show tonight. I got in contact with them and said, "Hey, we got a new location in your town. We'd like to sponsor the podcast." So thanks 7-Eleven for truly and sincerely sending a $100,000 check.
Yeah, and a single bottle of Replenish Zero orange mango.
Well, boys, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Brad, what Christmas movie did Nate have you watch, or did I make you watch?
Not you didn't. Nate did.
I can't ever keep it straight.
Yeah, I don't know why.
real bad.
It's
I'm real bad at
hard.
it.
There's only 3 of us.
I know.
and
I get confused every time too.
I don't understand what your problem is. Anyway, I watched Christmas in Connecticut. This is
It's a classic.
It is a classic. It is a classic. I was not expecting this movie to be so silly, but it is genuinely like a screwball romantic comedy.
Who's in it?
Barbara Stanwyck is the main actress in it, and then it also stars what is his name? Hold on a second.
Dennis Morgan.
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts is in it. No,
Dennis Morgan.
Dennis Morgan plays. So here's the setup. Dennis Morgan plays this war hero. He was lost at sea for a while, and he gets recovered in this hospital, meets a nurse, strikes up a conversation with him. They kind of become a thing. And one of the things that kind of keeps him going when he's in the hospital is he's reading these articles by this woman named Elizabeth Long. And she writes these articles about living on a Connecticut farm with her husband and her baby, and she always includes these delicious food recipes that just like make him mouth water because initially he's not eating regular food because like they have to build him back up after he was starved for so long after being lost at sea, and so as like kind of a reward for being a war hero, the nurse who becomes his fiance sets it up so that he can go meet Elizabeth Long on her Connecticut farm. But what he doesn't know is that this persona of Elizabeth Long doesn't really exist. The woman does, but she doesn't live on a Connecticut farm. She's not married. She doesn't have a baby. And the recipes came from a relative of hers, like a makeshift uncle named Felix. And he's the one who's a chef who actually is the one who cooks it. So it has the potential.
So where does she live? In Connecticut, but not on a farm?
No, she lives in New York.
Okay.
And so has the risk of ruining her career because somehow her publisher doesn't know that what she writes about is a complete ruse.
Well, I mean, this was what 1910. When did this movie?
45.
Yeah.
So nobody had cars.
What?
Like they couldn't visit.
Anyway, so he doesn't know this. So when it's set up for this war hero to go visit her, they have to put on this whole ruse and like make it look like she's married and has a kid and lives on a Connecticut farm. And so the war hero and her publisher are coming to visit, and so they have to create this whole thing. And so it's them trying to keep up this idea. And so she has a friend that like they're going to pretend to be married. They're borrowing babies from women who like need to go to work and like need someone to take care of their kids while they're going and working at the factory because it's still war times, you know. And so it's kind of a zany.
Is there like the town gets in on it too, or is it
it's very they get in on it eventually because like there's a turn where the publisher thinks her baby is being kidnapped because the woman comes to get her baby back, and so that's when like it all gets found out. But it doesn't turn into like a huge thing.
It's not like a Funny Farm type situation where they're paying everybody to keep cool.
Exactly. It's pretty isolated. But yeah, it's like I said, I was surprised how silly this was for this time. It really feels like kind of a goofy comedy. I'm not sure that I necessarily loved it, but one thing I was surprised is that there hasn't been a more definitive like remake of this movie. There was a remake in 1992.
Wait. Who do you think directed it, Ben?
That would be John Hancock.
No, who directed it?
Damn.
Peter Godfrey.
No.
For the 1992 one?
Oh, the 1992 one. Yeah. The remake is directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No way.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to watch that movie. I've seen every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie ever made.
He directed this. Yeah.
Yeah, he directed the remake.
What? Why did I not know this?
I don't know.
Because you're not a real fan.
Oh, fuck. You shut your mouth.
I just recently found out about this, and it's funny that I found out about this when I was watching this movie.
Okay, hold on.
Chris Christopherson's in it, I think.
Yes.
Okay,
and so is Diane Cannon.
Do you know why Schwarzenegger directed this?
He wanted to?
I think he's a fan of it.
Why
he's just a fan of Christmas in Connecticut.
Okay, you need to.
It is a pretty popular movie. I mean, and it's silly, it's funny.
But I am surprised that is the only remake of it because it feels like it's ripe for like
agreed.
Like
I haven't seen it in a number of years, but I do remember being funny, and I do suppose there are some movies that have taken cues from it because for example, a movie like The Proposal kind of has a similar premise to it. But like no one's done a straight up remake.
Uncle Felix, okay, you're going to come into it. You made the pie. The pie is very good. You're gonna give the pie away, okay? And the action.
How many films has Arnold Schwarzenegger directed?
Not many.
One.
I don't think.
No. He's never directed anything that he's been in. I mean, as far as like starring, I don't think. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of anything that he's done. And if so, it would have been very recently.
Actually, yeah, that's the only movie he directed, and he directed an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1990.
So clearly he caught the directing bug in the early 90s and thought, I can do anything.
And then he was like, you know what? I'll be back. And then he never did.
I like it.
Never came back. But yeah, Christmas in Connecticut, pretty good. Not great. I won't add it to my Christmas repertoire, but I'm glad I saw it. A classic Christmas movie that I hadn't seen before.
Nate Ford, how about you, buddy?
So I was assigned a film by my buddy Ben, and like Ben would assign me, because again, I love Christmas movies, and Ben loves horror movies, and so it is the intersection of those two things.
Also, it's just the only kind of subgenre of Christmas movies that I have a shot at giving you that you've not seen.
Many horror Christmas movies, because typically in Christmas I like joyful Christmas movies.
Sure. I want to ruin that.
And this film did. No, I'm just kidding. It's a film called Better Watch Out. And I actually, after watching this, really kind of got into exploring more about this film. I had not heard of it. And
explain the premise for the folks at home.
All right. So how to explain this film? So this film is like, it feels in the beginning a little bit like a John Hughes film, right? They have this beautiful house of an upper middle class person with a 12-year-old that needs a babysitter. His parents are going out, and the babysitter comes over, and this kind of 17, 18-year-old blonde girl. And so at the beginning, it just kind of feels like a fun John Hughes film. Now, did you guys, before I get into this, I had older siblings. I never really had babysitters because, I mean, maybe when I was real little, I never had babysitters.
I had a babysitter.
Did you guys have crushes on your babysitters?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
'Cause
didn't.
I feel like that's a thing that many people have. I never did.
I didn't, only because my babysitter was one that like babysat me from when I was an infant all the
Okay.
way up. So it was basically like a sister or an aunt.
Okay.
Right, that kind of
and
relationship.
she's a listener to this podcast, right? So you don't want to
No,
out your
her
crush.
name is Lori, or her name's Laura Stewart. I called her Lori. I'm the only one on the planet that calls her Lori, evidently. Laura Stewart. She owns First Impressions Hair Design. She's an amazing person. My father walked her down the aisle at her wedding.
That's very nice.
And helped her start her business. That's how close she is to us. So, and she babysat us all the time.
So this is a 12-year-old that has this crush on this babysitter, right? And he's determined to like essentially win her over. Then the film kind of takes a turn because this kid is a weirdo, and he is willing to go to violent lengths to get this going on. But so this sounds almost like turning into a psychological horror film. But it also has a little bit of lightheartedness because it borrows a lot from Home Alone. So the silly, zany kind of pranks from Home Alone, except in very violent
Very
consequences.
real terms.
Yep. And then there's a little bit, I don't know, Ben, when you watch this, there was a little, it seemed like almost some homage to Scream as well.
Oh, 100%.
And so
This is, in my opinion, is one of the better horror comedies or like horror.
Yeah.
Horror X, right? It's not just horror, but there's horror and a theme, and it's really done well.
it is
and it's
actually
a very unique premise.
I will say this: the premise is there's funny parts to it. It is certainly a Christmas film, but it is horror
Right.
as well.
Did you watch this with the lights on when the kids were in bed?
I did watch it with the lights on. I don't watch movies with the lights on. I'll fall asleep. But,
You watch it with the kids.
I did not watch this with the kids.
Probably smart. Probably smart.
You don't want to give them any ideas.
Though. So this film, and I won't. It doesn't have a ton of people you're going to recognize. By the way, it does now. Some of these characters some of these people have gone on to bigger things because, like,
Timothy
again,
Chalamet.
no, but Olivia
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Olivia, I think it's DeJong. I remember. So she played Priscilla Presley in the latest Elvis film. Some of these people are getting bigger roles.
They're gonna get
because they're kids.
Because Better Watch Out was what 2019. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago.
Yep. Billy from Stranger Things is in it. I think his name is Dacre Montgomery, maybe.
Yeah. And then one of the kids too, Ed Oxenbould.
Yep.
He was in The Visit, and he's been in.
Well, so was Olivia DeJong.
Yes,
She was in The Visit as well.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a very underrated horror movie, by the way. The Visit. I really liked it.
Oh, it's good.
Well, so after this, right, I started kind of getting into it, and apparently Olivia DeJong was the director's, like what he wanted to star in this, and he was trying to get her, but she had already starred in 2 or 3 horror films before that. And she's like, I don't want to only be a horror film actress, right? But
he said too fucking bad.
well, no,
Do you think the parts are jumping off the shelf?
she read the script. and she's like,
Olivia.
this is also because again, she becomes a little bit of a heroine, right? In this,
Yeah.
And so, what I thought was interesting about this is there is some subtext to this film about technology, about all these things where you've got this 12-year-old kid at the beginning. And the actor, I'm not familiar with him. He's been in some things. You may have seen him. Does a fantastic job. I tell you what, like for a 12 or 13-year-old that can turn into, trying to be cool and everything to this homicidal, crazy guy.
Yeah,
in a believable way.
Grounded.
Is really remarkable.
I mean, he would be grounded for the things he was trying in the movie.
But what's really really crazy about it is at the beginning he's trying to be the suave person. He's trying to be you can get with me. Yeah, I'm younger than you, but I'm mature. I'm cool. And by the end, he's throwing a temper tantrum like a little child, right? And so there's this kind of, I think, some subtext there as well that the writer and director is getting at about a lot of kids today, because of technology, because of social media, these kind of things, oftentimes think and they're around things that make them seem older than they are. But there are things that only experience can teach you, right? And so this kid clearly had heard of things and was familiar with sexual things, these kind of things, but he was still a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And so when he didn't get his way, he responded like a 12-year-old, right? Other than killing people. But
I also think that
I just like that part of it.
there's a lot of stuff like that. The movie Good Boys comes to mind, where they Google like sex stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the funny part to us is porn is so ubiquitous and naked ladies online are so easy to find, you should just type in naked woman. But instead, kids don't know how to search for that kind of stuff yet. So they're like bath boobies.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just these funny little
Touching butts.
Yeah. It's like, that's what you think sex. That part is hilarious to me. And obviously there's some innocence there and some fun with it. And so to kind of turn that on its head, to like you're talking about, like it comes out there as almost in a smoking jacket. Like
I remember being younger and seeing a porno videotape for the first time and seeing a penis ejaculating and,
Oh, boy.
and being like what the fuck is going on? like this is weird.
Why, Dad, why do you have this?
All right. So anyway, I like this film. Again, I am not the horror Christmas guy here on our team.
Sure.
But I actually enjoy this. It is well acted. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, but it is well acted. It's a fun film.
It's fun. It was short too. It's
not very long.
Breezy.
And,
breezy.
Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
I can't really honestly. It is very well acted. I really enjoyed the whole team that put this together. So
Good job. Better watch out.
Yep.
There you go.
So Ben, what did you watch? Who assigned it to you? I assume it was Brad, right?
I can't remember.
Oh, boy.
Brad gave me a little movie called Little Women,
Mm-hmm.
and it's from 2019.
Which again, we did debate whether or not this has enough Christmas to it.
Because I had heard of the movie Little Women because obviously I know it has been remade like 19 times. That's
It's also a famous book.
No, I don't know that. That just it's been made 5 times. But I never knew that it had anything to do with Christmas. So that's why I questioned it. I was like, oh, are we not doing Christmas movies anymore?
It's fair to question it. I think it's also fair to say it has enough Christmas.
There's a
in it.
couple of key scenes, as Brad said, that
And it just it has a feel of a Christmas movie.
And we've been wanting you to watch this for a while because this was a very
glaring
clear-
omission from
for you
2019.
on your
Glaring
list.
omission.
No, it was nominated for Best Picture.
Well,
it's fine. No, I'm just joking.
and,
This
and
movie
Brad
is
and I
awesome.
really do enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I
we
love
were
this
wanting you to watch it.
I'm so happy I watched this movie. I'm if the guise of Christmas is how we got to here, fine. That's awesome. I did obviously.
Well, the women of Christmas.
Anyway, this movie was made first famous after obviously the book, but 1935 Katharine Hepburn was in the very first one,
Okay.
and then they made another one in like 49. And then they made another one in the 70s, and then made another one in the 80s, and one in the 90s.
Yep.
So this
Every decade has their
seriously,
Little Women.
they really do, and I can see why. I'm hoping the other ones are just as good as this. The source material probably doesn't change all that much, so of course
It's kind of like it's kind of like in like the theater world, like everyone wants to do like Death of a Salesman at some
Sure.
point, something like that. Like every actress like wants to do an adaptation of Little Women at some point.
I mean, and I can see why.
Ladder of these guys.
You
Yeah.
get there's so much to chew on. You know, these are characters that are incredibly well fleshed out. They work together so well. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the story. That's 4 sisters that are back in the Civil War times, and their father gets called away to battle, and so there's the mom and the 4 daughters, and it's just literally about their lives growing up in that situation, and mainly about romance and marrying because that's what everybody expects women to do then. And it's about Saoirse Ronan.
Mhm.
It's about her character not wanting to be part of that life.
But think about this, right? So this is based on a source material written, a long time ago. Pretty remarkable and groundbreaking stuff for that source material. To
Can't
come out
believe
long
that
ago.
got published back then because women were not really allowed to do that kind of stuff. Like it was great that this story even came out because of that. I mean, she's telling a story about fuck your patriarchy. I want to be my own person, and it's that book and that movie. These movies, they hold more true today than ever. There's this endearing quality to these women that are it's just so important. And I wish every young woman would watch this movie, and every young man, more importantly, maybe, because you could absolutely there's just so much to learn from this, and there's just so much takeaways, but it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long and it doesn't feel like it. You're literally just watching this stuff happen. And I was engaged immediately.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about this is, again, this story has been told many times in film. And so Greta Gerwig directed this and adapted this. And the way she did it, I thought was just really well done, because it can be difficult to rework a story that many people are familiar with, even in film, right? We're familiar with, I think, the 90s one had
Winona Ryder, Kirsten
yep.
Dunst,
Yep.
and
that was a very popular one.
Yeah.
Honestly, I remember seeing that one. And so to be able to retell it in a way that seems fresh,
Yeah, I mean, and
it was really remarkable.
The new storytelling structure that she did with this one is what really made it even more compelling.
So I'm to understand that means that
the other adaptations
the flashbacks
don't jump back and forth in time.
Yeah, and this is just me being a dumbass. The only problem I had with that is because they all, these actresses all look very, very similar when they're playing 7 years ago and today. Emma Watson looks about the same. Florence Pugh looks, because you can't make them shorter. You can't, even though they would have technically been smaller people compared to a full-grown woman like Laura Dern 7 years ago. You should have been shorter to her because it was 7 years ago, and it's just different.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell sometimes which was which, and it took me like a couple seconds to be like, okay, oh no, they have switched back. Okay, that was a little jarring for me, but just because I'm a dumbass, it had nothing to do with the actual movie.
So when I got over here, you were finishing this film, and before we recorded, and you got a little teary, right?
Oh yeah.
And I said, so Ben, was it the scene where Chris Cooper can't go into the house? You said, of course it was.
Of course it was.
Because it gets me every time. It gets me and I know it's coming. Chris Cooper acts his ass off.
Chris Cooper is incredible in this film.
Yeah.
He's not in it for very much. He's obviously not necessarily a cameo role, but just a bit part, and he plays it to perfection. Timothy Chalamet, I'm not the biggest fan of his in the first place, but
you get why people love him.
I do. I can see why.
He's very charismatic.
He's very good in this film. Florence Pugh is fantastic. Laura Dern is fantastic. Emma Watson, they're all fantastic. Everybody's really
Bob
good.
Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk is fantastic. Yeah, no, everybody in this film it just knocks it out of the park, and the storytelling is very fresh. If you haven't seen Little Women, you guys are doing yourself a disservice.
What saddens me is I think there's this perception that, again, because it's called Little Women, right, and it's starring mostly women, that men can't get something out of this, or they won't enjoy it. It's got some humor in it. It is just really
a lot of blame. I'll take a lot of blame there, because this is, to me, before I saw this movie, I'm like, yeah, it's a period piece about mainly women. I don't think it's for me. I'll take a pass. And why? Like, I think I want to watch some more stuff. I'd like to watch Pride and Prejudice. I'd like to watch.
I mean, there are some really boring period pieces.
The 2005 Pride and Prejudice is actually like really good.
See, again, these are things that are never going to be in my wheelhouse, and so that's why I'm glad we're doing this little project, boys, where you're making me open my eyes to some stuff.
Yeah, the Pride and Prejudice, it's very well directed. There's some impressive, like,
and there's zombies in it too.
Single take sequences and everything, where it's just like you realize, oh wow, like it's been one take this whole time.
Who did that one? Who?
It's what's his name? It's the guy who directed Atonement.
Abe Vigoda, classically trained director.
Joe Wright.
Okay,
Joe Wright is the filmmaker. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
I really loved it, man. A little, and I will say, it technically Christmas movie. Technically,
it fills you with the Christmas warmth.
It does, and then the joy of Christmas.
Yeah, especially
in Civil War times.
Especially when Bob Odenkirk comes home,
and he looks like Bob Cratchit.
He looks wonderful.
He does,
just like a sweet old man
with mutton chops.
Sweet prince.
Have you guys watched anything else?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Sad. Nate?
I'm sure I did, and I can't remember anything.
Come on, fellas. This is a movie podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, I might have. So just keep going. I'll think.
Well, I watched Bros.
You finally watched it?
I finally got around to it.
What did you think? I've seen Bros.
Nate, you are 100% right. It was not as funny as I thought it was going to be. Not that it's not funny.
Yep.
But it definitely leans more towards the romance side of romantic comedy. But there are some very funny lines and scenes in it. But it didn't have the like joke speed that I usually expect, like, a movie like Forgetting Sarah Marshall or something like that. Like, this was definitely more squarely focused on the romantic side of things. And I still liked it. I think Billy Eichner is fantastic in it. There's a great ensemble cast on the side where they talk about the LGBTQ plus museum, which brings some really funny moments too. But yeah, I was surprised that it wasn't as funny as I anticipated, because I was thinking that it was going to be, quite raucously hilarious.
We loved this trailer, right? We did talk about this trailer when it was on, and I was very excited to see it. And it is hard when we talk about these kind of films, when we like these films, but it doesn't meet the expectations that we thought. Because again, I think Judd Apatow is involved with these kind of things, and it had a lot of things in there. The pieces that I thought were going to make this a great
strongly in it,
especially because it is directed by Nicholas Stoller, who directed Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
And it just it felt good but not great. And I was kind of disappointed in there, because I thought, I don't know, when you watch this as well, I thought there was enough tweaking that could have happened to make this film great.
Does this speak to like a weaker script than Forgetting Sarah
No,
Marshall?
the script is strong. Like it's a good romance. Like it feels like honestly gay When Harry Met Sally. Like that's really what it feels like.
So they didn't maybe let him improv a lot of stuff? Or?
No, I mean it's like it definitely has Billy Eichner's voice and that kind of thing. I just feel like that they I think that the movie that they wanted to make was something that wasn't necessarily just like it wasn't like a train wreck where it was a movie that has a lot of comedy to go along with the romance. I really think they wanted a romance that was just occasionally funny and felt genuine.
And so basically, why that trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because those kind of movies, whether it's a romantic comedy that is, more of a laugh riot, or if it's just a typical romance, all of those movies are a hard sell for theaters nowadays.
And I get that. The idea is we're either going to disappoint you after we have your money or before.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather disappoint you after I've got your money.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to show you a trailer that makes you want to go see it. And then, oops, it wasn't as funny as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So if you want to see Bros, it's streaming.
But again, still worth seeing. I would
sure.
say
Absolutely.
see it.
Both said,
Absolutely.
You both just said it's bad.
Oh boy. It's streaming on
You
Peacock.
said it was a train wreck.
He doesn't listen.
No, he said he saw the film Trainwreck. But go ahead.
It's streaming on Peacock right now if you want to watch it. So feel free to check that out. Sticking with the gay romance theme, I also saw another movie that I heard was pretty funny and I hadn't watched it yet.
Silence of the Lambs.
Came out earlier this year called Fire Island, which is on Hulu, which stars Bowen Yang. And it also stars the person whose name I forgot. I'm going to look it up here while I'm doing this podcast. Joel Kim Booster. And so Joel Kim Booster plays the lead, and it's this it's kind of a coming of age movie, except it's about this group of gay friends who they go to Fire Island every year. It's kind of like a By
the way, I when you say Fire Island, I think of Fire Fest.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm thinking of a
It's
really?
linked.
It's another documentary.
For those of you who
Fire
don't know,
Fest.
Fire Island is like this popular, like basically kind of like a spring break destination that a lot of gay men flock to. And like the way
This is embarrassing. By the way, I just looked this up, and I have seen like the poster for this online or like on streaming. And I did not watch it because I thought it was about Firefest. I am not kidding you. Because the poster is like
I'm not doing it.
Guys in like shirts off. It looks like they're having fun like they did at Firefest.
it looks like it could have easily
Like
been.
they did at Firefest.
Well,
they didn't have fun at Firefest.
For the first like 30 minutes.
Did you watch the documentary?
For like first 30 minutes they did. But go ahead.
So the movie follows this group of gay friends who go to Fire Island. They go out there. They've gone out there every year for a while. And it kind of plays out like this like big gay summer camp movie where there's like romance and like parties and all this stuff. And it really is just like a fun kind of coming of age movie. Bowen Yang is really good in it. Joel Kim Booster is fantastic too. And like it has this like fun angle because Joel Kim Booster's character is like narrating it, but in the same way that like Ralphie narrates A Christmas Story, where he's like looking back on it, but he's also commenting on what's actually happening like in real time during the story. But it's pretty entertaining. I liked it a lot. It was
which one did you like better out of the two?
I think I liked Fire Island a little bit better, just because it's skewed a little bit closer to like the kind of coming of age movies that I find myself being attracted to. But there were things about Bros that I think that worked better than Fire Island as well. So yeah, but they're both very good. And then I also watched Triangle of Sadness. Have you guys heard of this movie?
No. Is it any good?
Yes, it is very good. In fact, it was a big player at the Cannes Film Festival.
Sequel to Circle of Happiness.
What is Circle of Happiness, Ben?
It's a made-up title based on a kind of a thing I was doing there.
Interesting. So not a real thing, and just a dumb
But
joke.
it kind of sounded like it could be.
Gotcha, motherfucker!
Did you though? Because
I mean, you did fall for it.
No, I knew it wasn't, which is why I asked you.
So this is
I got a real question. Real quick. Would the sequel to Little Women be Littler Women or Bigger Women?
Bigger women,
Why?
because
they're
grow
no
up.
longer Little Women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less Little Women. All right, so this is a French film, so you had to read the subtitles.
No.
Do you feel smarter now?
No, there are very few subtitles. Most of it is in English.
Oh, well, maybe I'll watch it then.
So it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Fest, and it's a class warfare comedy. Basically, it follows this couple who are a young couple. They're models, and they go on this kind of like luxury cruise, and it's just this kind of like commentary on how pompous and entitled like rich people are on this ship, and kind of just like takes the piss out of them, and like they get shipwrecked and they end up on this island, and then like have to like try. There's like a group of them that have to try and survive and everything, and so there's a lot of like commentary on class, and it does kind of have that feeling that like you would expect an upper class skewering comedy that plays at the Cannes Film Festival to have. It feels a little bit self-important in a way, but it is very entertaining, especially because there's a sequence where they have what is called the captain's dinner on the ship, where the captain attends dinner with everybody on the ship, and there's a terrible storm, and so like
Who plays the captain?
Woody Harrelson, and the ship is like rocking terribly.
Sounded fake, by the way.
It's
Who
real.
played the captain? Woody Harrelson. Fucking asshole.
But the ship is rocking terribly at dinner, and like they're having like just the most like fancy like seafood presentation, and of course everybody gets terribly sick, and it just turns into absolute chaos on this ship of people just like throwing up and falling all over, and like Woody Harrelson and this other rich guy on the boat, they just get fucking blitzed and just like are drunk, and like the scene goes on for like a half an hour too.
Whoa.
But it is, it's really funny. I'm glad I watched it.
What was it called again?
It's called Triangle of Sadness.
Is it available on any streaming service?
I had to rent it because it's not available on streaming yet.
Was
But
Square of Despair taken?
he's gonna keep doing shapes.
These bits.
Trapezoid of Tragedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, see?
I'm proud
You're
of
into
you.
it.
Octagon of
Go on.
I don't know. Depression.
You got any more?
Dodecahedron of Despair.
No, I said Square of Despair.
No, but it rhymes though. The dodecahedron was.
That's alliteration.
Yeah.
I'm in a rhombus of jealousy over here.
Okay. I think that's all I've seen.
I did watch another movie. I will say that I watched this because we've been playing movies at the arcade, and I had a nice long break, and so I watched like 89% of the Goonies. I mean, I really did.
You've never seen it?
First time, huh?
No.
Oh.
What'd you think, buddy? A lot of people love that
I
film.
just wanted to say that I did watch another movie. Okay, I watched the Goonies.
Ruth,
And it
did
was
you
good.
like that part or no? It's okay. Hey, I haven't seen a lot of films as well.
What else did you watch this week? Huh?
No, I was curious if it really was your first time.
No, I've seen.
It's okay if it is. All right, stop. Nobody's shaming you here.
I don't think the Goonies is that great.
Well, you probably didn't watch it when you were a kid.
I didn't. And
that's why.
That's actually
that's
why.
why.
And when you watch it as an adult, all it is kids screaming and running around.
I actually watched it as a kid and I kind of got scared.
It's like watching a treasure hunt version of Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you
It's
finally.
really it's really good, and it's like that's like saying, Star Wars is just fine.
Because
I didn't watch it as a kid.
No. Hey, I'll give you that.
No, because
I
the
didn't watch
Goonies.
Star Wars until
No,
I was
the
an
Goonies
adult,
is
and I
a
don't
good
love
movie.
Star
No,
Wars.
the Goonies
Just
is
because you didn't grow up with it, I didn't grow up with Star Wars. I was not introduced to it in a good enough time where it made a lot of sense to me. So it was fine. I never loved it.
It was fine. Yep,
impassioned.
exactly.
Okay, so you said the part that makes sense and is absolutely right, but that's the difference is that the Goonies is not necessarily innovative when it comes to filmmaking and changing.
Doesn't have to be.
No, I'm not saying it has to be. What I'm saying that's what makes Star Wars that much more revered. So the Goonies can be fine, and it is. It's a perfectly fine kids adventure movie. But when it comes to Star Wars, the filmmaking and the caliber of it that's there, that's why that one is just respected.
No,
and so
but
it's not on the same level.
It's a straw man argument.
It's not.
Yeah, it is, because you're talking about technical achievement and shit that I'm not even bringing up. All I'm saying is I really like the Goonies and you don't, and I don't like Star Wars and we really do. But that's it. That's all the comparison.
But I don't think.
But then now you're taking to another level, saying no. But here's why Star Wars is the better movie and Goonies isn't a good enough.
No, I'm not saying. First of all, I don't even know why you're turning this into like a confrontational thing. Because
But have you guys seen Babe Pig in the City?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Way better than Star Wars.
All right, moving on.
it's not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's absolutely not the same thing because like more often than not, you'll find adults who still can appreciate Star Wars even though they didn't grow up with it. But Goonies,
But that's not the point.
I have found it is, because I'm telling you that I didn't appreciate Goonies as much when I was older because I'm not a kid that gets caught up in the kid adventure of it.
Yeah, and I didn't like Star Wars for the same reason.
I know, but
I didn't get caught up in it.
That's what I'm saying though. Is there are more adults I think who are turned off by the Goonies because of the kid orientation of it and because of how. Like I've heard a lot of adults who never saw Goonies until they were adults, and the very first thing they say is that movie is really fucking loud.
But here's the crazy part here is I'm not talking about most adults or which movie is more beloved. I'm talking about I know,
but you turned it into that argument
No,
by
I didn't.
bringing that up. You absolutely did.
No, I just said there's a movie you really
Nate,
like.
did you watch anything else?
There's a movie you really like that I don't.
Did you watch anything
So
else?
what's the big deal?
Babe Pig in the City.
Did you actually watch Babe Pig in the City?
No, I just wanted to move on.
Do you know who directed Babe?
No, who?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bet you didn't know that.
Do you not know?
No, I don't.
It's Sylvester Stallone.
His name is George Miller. Do you know what he directed, Nate?
300?
Mad Max.
No, Mad Max Fury Road.
Mad Max.
Well,
And
Mad
Mad
Max,
Max,
the
that my
original.
most of the franchise, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you know that? He also directed a movie called Happy Feet.
Oh, that is a wide, expansive
He's
resume.
got a good resume.
Yeah.
He also directed Happy Feet 2.
I didn't see that one.
Littler Women.
All right. What about some trailers, boys?
Let's get into it.
Well, we talked about Greta Gerwig earlier, so let's talk about the new movie that she has coming out based on a popular toy named Barbie. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of this film and I've heard of the toys.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what this is.
Well, Ben, you probably didn't play with Barbie when you were a kid, so you don't appreciate it as much now as an adult.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, it's not my favorite toy.
Right.
Yeah, but I played with Baby Ruth.
Did
You played with a candy bar as a kid?
No, I had a little doll. I called him Baby Ruth.
You had a doll named Baby Ruth.
Yeah, it was a Ruth Cabbage Patch doll, but it was my baby, so I called it Baby Ruth.
What is a Ruth Cabbage Patch doll?
It was a Cabbage Patch doll named Ruth
Why don't you just say it's a Cabbage Patch doll named Ruth?
because I was 4.
Do other people say this is my Laura Cabbage Patch doll?
No, I said my Baby Woof
Baby Ruth?
because I couldn't pronounce my R's, Brad, because I was 4.
He had a speech impediment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't make fun of him.
Wow, just really.
So does
ableist
Joe
of you.
Biden.
So
All right. So this trailer was a spoof, right, of 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Yes.
and another again film written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, and directed by Greta Gerwig. Stars everyone in Hollywood.
Yeah, this movie has a
all
very
of them.
big cast.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is the one who plays Barbie.
Naturally,
yeah.
right? She is a
Although there
living Barbie.
are a bunch of different Barbies, as I understand it too.
and
in
Ryan
this movie.
Gosling is Ken.
Yes.
Will Ferrell is Mr. Mattel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whoever. I don't. Simu Liu is in it.
Yep.
American Ferrera, Ariana Greenblatt, Michael Cera, Issa Rae, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Rhea Perlman. Good to see Rhea Perlman still acting.
Issa Rae, it's my favorite name to say.
And then Kate McKinnon and more. So there's just
It's everyone in Hollywood.
ton of people. It didn't give us much in the trailer, though, honestly.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, it's just a teaser. And like I said, it was a spoof of 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I'm excited about this film. It's going to be good, I'm sure, because Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach are talented people.
They're
and
taking
all
it
that cast
in
is amazing.
The right tone with this. I don't think they're definitely not playing it serious, but it looks very, very, very tongue in cheek.
It
and that's
won't be
what
serious, but I
be fun.
feel like Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig are still going to want to make a point.
Sure,
though.
absolutely.
And so there's going to be something said in this film that's going to be good. It won't just be, it won't just be really zany and silly. I think there's going to be something else that happens in this film. But it shows you, right, all of the pink plastic, setting in the city that Barbie lives in.
I mean, just go aside from the shots you see in this trailer, like go do a Google search of like set photos and see all the different like wardrobes and like sets that have been spotted.
It looks like it, again. I am not somebody that I didn't play with a lot of Barbies when I was little. I had nothing against boys playing with Barbies, but I didn't. So I'm not familiar with it seems like they're going to actually use certain outfits that many people are familiar with, these kind of things. And that's going to be fun for a ton of people, I think.
On the Slash Film staff, one of our writers and editors, her name's BJ Colangelo. She is like a huge Barbie fan, and she's like super into like this.
That's awesome.
And there are things that like she has noticed in the trailer and set photos and stuff like that where she's like, oh my gosh, this is this and this and this. And so she's been writing about it for us, and like the way she's been writing about it has been so much fun. But like this really feels like it will probably have like something be something along the lines of like the Lego movie, of how it uses the intellectual property to do something bigger and better. And one of the biggest things that like has me so intrigued about this is you mentioned Simu Liu is in it, and he said in an interview that his agent told him this was one of the best scripts he has ever read. And so,
Which again, Noah Baumbach, Greta Gerwig does not shock me.
yeah. And so I'm very interested to see what this is like, especially with this trailer out there. Like, it feels like it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll probably, be something that is like from people who genuinely love, like the Barbie, brand, but also like want to do something that is like satirical and all, is genuinely entertaining in a new way that isn't just like, here's the toys, dancing around and all that stuff.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm excited to see this. It's crazy, right? That this film does get so much press because it seems like if there's a set photo that comes out, I mean, it just breaks Twitter, right? It is. Yeah. People are very, very excited about this.
If you're gonna make a movie about Barbie, right? And obviously Hollywood has not done this yet as a live action film. So you've got A-list everything, directing, writing, act, everything. So the budget is huge. So they're going for it, and I'm here for it.
Yep, I'm excited. And I know nothing about the plot. Do you?
No, not really.
Yeah, I've not read anything. I don't think that's really been public on, there's no even like snippets of like, sometimes they'll release like a 3 or 4 sentence paragraph of, kind of a summary of the plot.
Many jokes will there be about Ken not having a dick? Do you think they'll reference
I don't know.
No matter what the answer is, it's not enough.
It is funny though. I'm anxious to see if that's the route they're going to go.
Is it PG-13?
Well, I don't know.
I would assume it's not going to be any more than PG-13.
Well, you make it R. It's a hard R.
Like,
NC-17.
Yeah.
Just plastic crotches smashing into each other.
I think that Barbie film has been made.
Yes. Yes, it has. Oh, my God.
I'm just thinking about that Barbie movie. Oh, no.
Moving on, 65 or the Jurassic Park film we've all been waiting for.
I got my first real spaceship in the summer of 65.
Wow, that's a long way for that one.
See?
Okay, that works.
I don't know if it was a long way. It was just a little snippet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Yeah, no, I did. That was fine.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, so this trailer kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't even know this film was getting made, honestly. And we paid obviously pretty close attention to the film being made.
This was a big surprise for me.
Especially something with Adam fucking Driver.
Especially something that's like such a big concept like this, because like if I would have heard about a movie of like, oh, Adam Driver gets stranded on a planet and there's fucking dinosaurs,
and it's
like, sign me up.
$100 million film. This isn't a small film.
Yeah,
no, this is gonna be fucking epic.
It's very cool. It's very cool. I like the premise. I like the setup where it's, a kind of a Lost in Space idea where there's this crew exploring, looking for, a new place to live. And then they end up,
we're looking for a new Earth.
Clearly somehow end up going back in the past and landing on prehistoric Earth where there are dinosaurs.
Is it prehistoric Earth?
That's what it says in the trailer.
65 million years ago is what it stands for.
I know, it just seems so weird. Like,
so that way, that's the problem you have? Like, if you're going to be in space, you can't also go back in time?
Well, I mean, just because you're in space doesn't mean you know how to get back in time.
Well, they didn't go back in time on purpose.
They got hit by a rogue asteroid. Did you listen to the trailer?
Yes, but that's not how space travel happens.
Oh, you're a space travel expert now.
Yeah, I am the resident podcast space travel expert. I thought we've already covered that.
Where'd you go to school?
Does it matter?
You've seen The Martian 4 times. That does not make you the resident space expert.
Yes, it does.
You got a NASA patch on your freaking arm? Nerd.
Got a moon tattoo on your butt?
I've also seen Jurassic World twice.
Oh, so that's dinosaur expert.
Exactly.
So you're not near a sadness expert. Yeah, the circle of sadness call that wants you back.
Sounds mean.
You guys are like ganging up on me.
But no, this looks cool as hell because it's futuristic tech versus dinosaurs, a survival story on prehistoric planet Earth. And
I trust Adam Driver. I trust his decision making because obviously he doesn't really do wrong with his choices. So while there could be camps out there that say like, oh, it looks like he's sold out or whatever, like I think this movie looks incredible.
Yeah, he doesn't do movies like this often.
Exactly.
Star Wars was like the only thing. You know?
Yeah, I'm really, really into this.
This was shot over 2 years ago, by the way, and
65 million years ago.
65 million and 2 years ago.
And it comes out, I think, in March.
2 years from now.
I think it comes out in March. So it's actually been a film that's been done for a while, and they've been wanting to release it, but because of COVID, because of these kind of things, they've not been able to, which really shocks me again that we had not heard of this film.
Yeah.
Because most films, there are films that we've been waiting on releasing for quite some time, and it hasn't come out yet. So I'm really excited about this film. The special effects look great.
Everything's great.
The premise looks new. Excuse me.
No, it's good. I'm all signs point to yes on this one.
Scott Beck and Brian Woods wrote and directed this, and they did A Quiet Place. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they sure did.
All right, moving on. A new trailer just dropped today when we were preparing for this episode. Oppenheimer. Did you guys watch that?
God damn it!
Ben and I had a weird moment where we had a staring contest impromptu.
great for the podcast.
Yeah,
Brad.
Great content, guys.
Yeah.
Good visual stuff. Yes, I did watch the trailer for Oppenheimer, and
By the way, our listeners aren't in our text thread, but you pissed me off earlier today. You really did.
Well,
you pissed me off.
Nate, here's the thing. Like Christopher Nolan, he made Dunkirk. We got a World War II movie. I don't know why we're doing this again. Like, I want to make a movie about the guy that made the atomic bomb. Oh, fucking cool, great. I don't.
Wait, he's made more.
He only made Dunkirk, but
No, but I mean, like in the thread, you mentioned 3 movies.
well, I know, but he's not being serious right now. But I thought he was serious for a second there, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "Christopher Nolan, who cares? Nobody cares about Christopher
God,
Nolan."
why does he stick to the WW2
He's like,
shit?
"Oh,
We get it."
another World War II film." I'm like, he's made one.
Yeah, but it was like 2.5 hours long.
And it wasn't very good.
You did not like Dunkirk?
I couldn't tell who was who. They're all like pale white actors, and it's like
Well,
today's today,
welcome to
and then
World War
tomorrow's
II.
tomorrow's 3 days from now, and then next week, and it's like, but now we're back to today in the cockpit, and what? I just can't. And then
It was-
put Tom Hardy in a fucking Bane mask again.
It was English soldiers in World War II. They were pale and pasty.
I know,
Sorry.
but like, there's nothing about that made me pay attention. I just was so bored.
No, I like Dunkirk, and I'm also I am excited about any new Christopher Nolan movie. And
Oppenheimer. Yep.
Yeah, Oppenheimer, is a person who hasn't really been like given a movie like this.
That's what I was thinking as well. Listen to this cast, right? So obviously this is a biopic kind of,
this is a movie where literally like everybody is in this movie.
Here we go. We've got Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Rami Malek, Josh Hartnett. Welcome back, buddy. Kenneth Branagh, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just kidding. Jack Quaid, Jason Clarke, Alex Wolff, Tony Goodwin,
Alex P. Keaton.
So you just got
The Predator.
I would, yeah.
Olivia Thirlby, Casey Affleck's in it as well. Gary Oldman.
Give him a shot, okay.
Gary Oldman plays Harry S. Truman. That should be interesting. But this has a huge ensemble cast.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's $100 million film as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some action in there. They spent that money.
They made a real atomic bomb for it.
Actually, he did do something to recreate the atomic explosion for this movie.
It's a joke,
And I think you get visual flourishes of that in this trailer too, of like seeing the reaction and like what the explosion looks like up close. Something that people probably aren't used to seeing, because we're only ever seeing the atomic bomb as like the big mushroom cloud,
and also
like
the grainy black and white
shock
footage of it.
Yeah, exactly. This will like give us some kind of. I think this will probably like recontextualize what we think of when we think of the atomic bomb, and really like put in perspective of just how big of a deal it was, because like everyone is taught it in history class, everyone knows about this kind of thing, but it's been so long since it happened, and like it's such a commonplace thing of like everyone knows what that black and white footage looks like. And I think to put it in this light and have a film like this and provide these new contemporary visuals to like give people an idea about it, it's kind of like what Selma did for the civil rights movement. Is like we had never really seen a movie that had zeroed in on Martin Luther King Jr. before, and those marches through Selma and stuff like that. And so like when you get to see those historical moments dramatized in such a significant way, it adds a new layer of understanding.
What I really love about, because I've done some study of this time, and these scientists, a lot of them were 30s, 40s. They weren't that old, a lot of these scientists, and they were doing some really obviously groundbreaking stuff, but many of them
literally groundbreaking,
very conflicted after.
Sure.
Because again,
why?
Some people died actually because of the atomic bomb. Yeah.
Huh.
Some did.
No.
It should be fun to see how this kind of plays out, and what
also it unleashed Godzilla.
Decisions are going to.
I've heard that story. That was scary.
Now Christopher Nolan, not necessarily an Academy Award winner for Best Picture or anything, but he does make some prestige films. Is this going to?
He made The Prestige.
Is this going to be up for acting Academy Award? I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah.
All that.
I would be surprised if it
Now,
wasn't.
one of the tenets of his movies is the
Tenet.
like the big noise that he always does.
Yeah.
You think that'll be it?
It's a memento for him.
I was gonna get there, but you stopped me. I got Prestige in, I got Tenet in, but I couldn't get there.
I think that the inception of the movie is it's going to be Dark Knight.
Batman Begins. All right.
No, I do. I think it'll definitely be up for awards. I mean,
Sure.
It'll be interesting to see how much of the cast they put up for awards. But
It'll be like everybody versus everybody in
Yeah.
the supporting actor category.
yeah, exactly. So this probably could be a big moment for Cillian Murphy, though, who doesn't often get to enjoy a lead role in such a big movie. So I think this should be huge for him.
Agreed.
Are you excited for it?
I am. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be very good. It is a film, though. Obviously, it's going to be heavy because the atomic
Because the atomic weight
Mm-hmm.
of the film.
So, but you can't see this cast and not get excited about it.
Of course, yeah. This is going to be incredible. It's probably going to be 9 hours long.
I don't think it'll be that long.
I mean, it'll probably be 2 hours and 42 minutes long.
I'm going to say 2 hours and 24 minutes.
It'll be long. It'll be
How long? Because we just said our numbers.
What did you say?
242.
I'm going to say 1 minute.
What are you doing?
He's doing the $1 bid.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, dummy.
Listen, I'm out of it tonight.
Didn't you watch Price is Right when you were sick?
No.
You never watched Price is Right when you were sick. You're full of shit.
Oh, when you were sick as a child.
Anytime.
Well, no, not really. I watched My Three Sons.
You watched My Three Sons when you were sick at home.
Yeah, Mr. Ed, My Three Sons. It was on Nickelodeon during the day.
Oh, somebody had cable. All right. Hey, guys, I want to talk about something because I figured out a new bit that I want to try here.
No boy.
Yeah, I know. It's called the Go Flix Yourself headline hullabaloo.
You want to try that one again?
Yeah, it's called the Go Flix Yourself headline hullabaloo.
Isn't that a Netflix movie with Adam Sandler?
Headlines. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read headlines from the last day or two, and I want to comment on them. But I might even ask you guys to do an impression of this because I want to hear your bits that you would think. For instance, I'm gonna give you a headline here, and I want to hear your comment on it. But I might assign something else for you. All right, here we go. Here's a headline that came out.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not
no,
sure.
you're
Well,
going to get this. You're going to get this, right?
I'm in.
All right. Woman caught stealing Christmas presents from Robert De Niro's house. Did you hear this?
No. Jay Leno, I did not.
Is this a real thing?
You know, this really happened. I know. I read this headline today.
Okay.
It happened. A suspected serial burglar was caught Monday while attempting to poach Christmas presents from actor Robert De Niro's Manhattan home. De Niro, who had been upstairs, came down to the living room as the woman was being arrested. I want to hear from you both your best Robert De Niro impression when somebody's robbing his house.
You stealing from me? Are you stealing from me?
What do you got, man?
I'm the only one here.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna keep going. Oh yeah. I have presents, Greg. Could you milk me?
Good.
Forget about it.
That's one of his most famous lines.
Forget about it. I just would have loved to have seen. Like, do you think he called the police and just stayed upstairs?
Absolutely. He's 90. Like he's not.
I know, but I feel like Robert De
Godfather
Niro is
or
still
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
All right, he stood at the window and like did that thing where he pointed his eyes.
Exactly.
And, like,
Exactly. Just menacing stare.
yeah.
All right. Next headline: Tucker Carlson let Mike Tyson smoke a truckload of weed at his house. Carlson invited heavyweight legend Mike Tyson to stay at his home before the champ appeared on his Fox News streaming show. Tucker Carlson today lost a little respect for Mike Tyson on that. But
I'll tell you right now, I don't have a good Tucker Carlson.
But insiders say that Tyson thought he'd have to turn down the hospitable offer because he has a heavy weed habit and didn't want to impertinently hotbox Carlson's tastefully appointed mansion. But we're told the Fox host assured Tyson, who appeared on the show Wednesday, that he was quite welcome to stay and to blaze away to his heart's
Why
content.
are those two people hanging out?
Yeah. So that's what I want to hear from you. I want a good Mike Tyson impression trying to ask if he could smoke weed at somebody's house. You go first, Ben.
I mean, are you sure? I don't feel comfortable. Sure, you're not gonna mind? I mean, okay, but it's gonna be a lot.
I'm gonna let that one go. That's as good as it's gonna be.
All right, final headline for our Go Fix Yourself headline hullabaloo. Steven Spielberg regrets the decimation of shark population after Jaws.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate.
Director Steven Spielberg has said he truly regrets the decimation of the shark population following the success of the Oscar-winning film Jaws. He told BBC Radio 4's Desert Island Discs he fears sharks are mad at him for the feeding frenzy of crazy sword fishermen that happened after 1975. Here's a fun fact for you. Not real fun, but a fact. An estimated 100 million sharks are killed per year throughout the world, a startling high number, and one that is greater than the recovery rate of these populations, meaning we are decimating the shark population.
So they actually did use the word decimation properly.
My favorite part about this particular podcast has been the silences.
They say a lot.
All right, so what I want to hear from you guys
I don't do a shark impression.
is I want to hear a Roy Schneider impression. All right?
Can anybody do a Roy Schneider impression?
You're going to try it. Trying to talk to Steven Spielberg about...
Brad, what is a Roy Schneider's...
Have you guys seen Jaws?
Well, no.
All right, then. You could do a Roy Schneider impression about talking to Steven Spielberg about maybe seeing if there's another animal they can come up with.
Boy, that's some dead shark, Harry.
It's a pretty good Roy Schneider.
I can just do it from that line, the bad hat Harry line. That's pretty much it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah, you know, maybe we could do it. I'll be Richard Dreyfuss, and I'll
There we
try.
go. There we go. Let's go with Richard
listen,
Dreyfuss.
Steven, the sharks are gonna be pissed. Okay, I don't need a shark chasing me and my career down, Steven. Okay, I don't want to blow up the sharks in the ocean. All right, I'm Richard Dreyfuss over here.
That is a great Richard Dreyfuss.
It's more so Daryl Hammond doing Richard
I know,
Dreyfuss.
yeah,
and that's
but
that's all
I
we got.
still love
Yeah,
it.
that's
I
fine.
still love
That's
it.
fine.
You got a Richard Dreyfuss for me or a Roy Schneider?
Man, I don't think that I.
What about a Steven Spielberg?
No, I don't-
Actually, if you were more drunk, you could just be Quint from Jaws.
I am pretty much good. Yes, we're gonna sharks in the water. And we're gonna go on the land. What we need to do is instead of having the sharks,
Come over here, Hooper. I gotta tell you about these sharks.
what we're gonna do, you and me, see, we're gonna go on land and we're gonna crush some poontang.
Wow,
That's what he would say.
that's true.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for playing the Go Flex Yourself headline hullabaloo.
You're welcome. Thanks for putting us on the spot for no reason.
Yeah, that's a nice little improv game.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Just to close out here with a brief conversation, since this has been a big thing over the past week, there's been a lot of hullabaloo, if you will, over the development of the new DC universe.
Yes.
Now that James Gunn and Peter Safran have been named as the new heads of DC Entertainment. How would you guys feel about the various announcements that have been going on? There's been talk of Patty Jenkins no longer doing Wonder Woman 3. There's been talk of Henry Cavill no longer being Superman and them taking an entirely different direction for those characters. How do you feel about things that have going so far? Have you guys paid attention to this? Heard what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's pretty hard if you do follow any sort of entertainment news to not know about this.
Yeah.
I just, it's so weird to me that people get so passionate about these actors that play these roles.
Yeah.
It just really does speak to kind of like our more primal instincts. These people are going to get death threats over this.
Oh yeah.
You know, James Gunn's family is going to get threatened because Henry Cavill's not playing Superman anymore. Like, what's wrong with you people? You're dumb. Stop being fucking dumb. These are characters on the screen, and so what? They're not coming back to play your stupid fucking Caped Crusader. Calm it fucking down.
Well, hold on. Superman isn't the Caped Crusader.
Who
Batman's
gives a
the Caped Crusader.
Who gives a shit? Just James Gunn has earned the right to do things. Like, you should be thanking him for taking DC's pile of shit and trying to turn it into something good. You did it with Peacemaker. You did it with Suicide Squad. Let the man go. Let him make your shit better. But instead, you're I'm holding on to the past because, dude, I didn't really like the Superman in the first place. But they should still let him make him another one. But even though I didn't like the one that came out,
Well, the Snyderverse, guys. I mean, come on. Don't you love the Snyderverse?
Yeah, I like when everything's wet and dark and craggly, and I can't tell what it is. Oh wait, that's America, or what is it? Is it a cave? Is it underwater? What are we doing?
Nate,
On the moon?
how much do you like the Snyderverse?
Okay, let me comment broadly here. For fear out of upsetting some of our listeners that might like the DC universe, or that might be DC fans, you are the worst. I am so freaking tired of this. Your whole thing, right? So the reason James Gunn gets brought in, and Peter Safran, I think is his name, right, gets brought in, is because the DCU sucks. It just does.
Yeah.
I mean, and the good stuff. There have been some good films, right? Wonder Woman 1, the first one, I thought I really liked.
Yes,
There were some good films. Most of your films are trash. They're just not very good. The good parts of the DC universe that were brought there by James Gunn that you got only because he got fired from Marvel for a hot minute and they lost him.
Mm-hmm.
Be grateful, because
he's
again,
so grateful.
he's tremendously talented. This is the crazy thing, is you can see, DC fans, what James Gunn has done. Look at the Suicide Squad that came out 4 years before that one to the Suicide Squad that he brought. Look at the difference there, right? One is a good film, one is a trash film.
But all those fans, though, the same that are constantly complain about like the Snyderverse being left behind and like who love Justice League and all that stuff, they'll tell you, be like, oh yeah, but that first Suicide Squad movie would have been so much better if they would just release David Ayer's original cut of the movie.
Yeah, but that's not what they did, you fucking idiots. Like, they don't do that. The studios...
They did, though. They released Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League.
Absolutely.
And it was okay.
It was
and it was the worst decision Warner Brothers could have made.
Yeah.
Now they've emboldened the worst side of the
Exactly.
family.
But even the Zack Snyder, it's okay. It's not.
It
Look at Marvel, what they're releasing. And again, I will say, not every Marvel film is good. Most, though, are, right?
Listen,
they're at least good. Some of them are great.
The Donner
films.
cut makes the Snyder cut look like Justice League. Okay, the Donner cut of Superman was really, really good.
Yeah.
The Snyderverse cut or whatever is fine. It doesn't really improve tremendously anything. It's just longer.
Long.
And it fills in a few gaps. Okay, whatever. But it doesn't narratively change things. It doesn't fucking stylistically change anything. It's what I'm so sick of you guys complaining about stuff that doesn't matter.
And,
just go,
and my
go
thing is,
on a date.
okay, the DC people know that their film universe and their shows aren't doing well. Their shows are like on WB or something, right?
Well, but that to be fair, even though I'm not a fan, those shows on the CW did have a huge following, and people loved what they did.
But again, though,
and I think
you will also love it when it's done well.
But yeah, sure. But my point is, though, is most of the fans that are complaining today are not. There's really a lot of the same fans who like the CW shows and that kind of stuff.
But look at the difference between, again, and I have nothing against those shows. I've watched some of them. They're not bad shows, but they are not Peacemaker.
No,
right?
of course not.
And so look at the difference between what James Gunn, who has a standard that will be met in these films,
And also comes with an influx of cash and green lights. Like, you weren't going to get this, guys. It was either going to die off and wait a couple years and you get probably another cash grab shitty reboot, or you get somebody with prestige and $100 million per picture.
I'll say this: Henry Cavill looks like Superman, right?
I love him.
No, but I don't think he's a great actor. I really don't. I think he's fine.
I disagree with that. I think Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a pretty good actor. I don't think he's had an opportunity to really.
But I said great. You don't think he's a great actor?
I don't think he's had an opportunity. He's been given a movie that has allowed him to fully.
Did you love him in Witcher?
What?
Did you love him in Witcher?
I don't watch The Witcher. But I think that he's a very good Superman. I don't think he was ever given a good Superman movie for him to really prove it. Because I think he's great as the villain in Mission Impossible Fallout. I liked him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think that he's got potential. He just hasn't been given that great opportunity to prove how good he really is.
Maybe you might be right. But there's
like
nothing
him
about his Superman that I thought can't be done by other actors as well.
The other part about this, people say like, oh, you can't make a good Superman movie because he's so overpowered, and it's just bullshit anymore. You can't use that excuse anymore because you have a god in Thor.
It is a tough nut to crack, though.
It's whatever. It's not, though, because for kryptonite exists in his universe, so like you just make an interesting story using kryptonite, and now you're fine. Like, just write a good movie.
It's more so because of also what Superman, I think, represents as well, and like there's no real Marvel like equivalent for Superman, like he's kind of in a level on his own.
Yeah, but there is enough Superman comic book iterations where you can find a story that works, that can and should be told
of course.
now. And that's what they need to do. And you know who will find it? James Gunn. He will find it. I just think that if you're bringing in James Gunn to be, and Peter Safran to be the next, the Kevin Feige of DC, let him clean house.
Let him do it. Let him do what he's going to do.
I will say the one thing that I am disappointed that we're probably not going to get now, because this is something that would have happened, is obviously we're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman in the Flash movie. That's happening. He was supposed to be in the Batgirl movie that got canceled. I'm bummed that we're not going to see how that plays out, because this was all meant to eventually lead into doing a Batman Beyond movie where Michael Keaton would have been an aged Bruce Wayne with a new Batman based on the Batman Beyond animated series and comics and stuff that followed. And I would have loved to have seen them do that. And I don't know if we're ever going to get that kind of opportunity again, because I think that we are now missing our chance at properly bringing Michael Keaton back into the DC comic fray, because now they're going to venture away from what this universe they've created to allow that to happen. And now I don't think we'll get a chance to do it again.
There's always a way. There's always a way.
I just want to be careful too, because as James Gunn put on his Twitter, people are making stuff up about what he is and isn't going to do. From what I understand, he hasn't announced a ton.
No, they haven't announced anything yet.
Yeah,
he's shot down some rumors, and he has vaguely mentioned
he's pretty active on Twitter.
But people are like, well, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do this. And sometimes he's like, that's just not true. Or we haven't made up our decision. And so let him do his job, right? And then if after a couple films or after 5 or 6 years the job isn't being done well, get rid of him. But you brought in a guy that has a good resume.
You're hiring a all-star, legend, Hall of Famer basketball coach to coach the worst team in the league, and you're not going to give it a year before you see what the next year's team looks like. That's the equivalent here. And just give him a chance.
And right, DC is a little bit of a mess right now, even with their actors, right? The Flash franchise. What are we going to do with that? Who knows?
Why? What happened?
Oh boy.
So what really drives me crazy is I've seen some people say that, again, James Gunn and Peter Safran are to blame for certain decisions that were made before they even started. They just started a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's beyond me how people are. I've seen tweets of people
they didn't cancel Batgirl.
This is I've also seen you know what? This is it. I'm done, DC. And it's like, okay,
take care.
Have a great day. Like what?
Because you know what? Now that James Gunn is behind it, I actually do want.
Now
to see
I'm
DC
actually
films
interested.
more.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like this is like, to pull another analogy out of my ass here. This is like when a restaurant goes non-smoking, and you get the 20% of people who smoke. Well, good luck. Your regulars are never coming back. And then,
not just because I got cancer.
Business is better than ever.
Yep.
And the restaurant smells nice and is actually good.
I don't know. I love me a good cigarette.
I love me a good cigarette is what most smokers say.
Yeah.
And on that, guys,
I love it, man.
Bradley.
It's not my name.
I know.
You son of a bitch.
Hey, it's good to see you again. I love you.
I love your faces.
I'm glad to see you in person, buddy.
I know, right? It's good.
Go home and watch The Goonies.
It feels good. I'm going to go home and watch The Goonies, and it's going to keep me up at night.
Yeah, it's because the kids scream a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why you like that movie so much. I'm more a Star Wars guy myself.
I know you are. You got that tattoo of the Death Star right on your nutsack.
That's a Tatooine of the Death Star.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
A Tatooine.
A Tatooiner.
Ew.
It's a tattoo on my wiener.
Ugh.
Of Tatooine.
Anyway, guys, if you like this podcast, I don't know why you would.
No way after that joke. Why would you?
Definitely rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Want to give a shout out to the person who listened to the bad episode we had not too long ago. But you know what? Was still kind enough to give us 5 stars because the episode afterwards was infinitely better.
Here's what I love. Give us a shitty text review and a 5-star rating. So if you're listening, if you haven't rated us yet, you should say something negative in the text. But then also make sure it's definitely still 5 stars because that's all the.
Well, say something positive about me. I'm very sensitive.
Exactly.
Yeah, say something really bad about Ben.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Like that third guy that kind of sounds fat and it's me. Just make fun of me. It's fine. But then still give us 5 stars.
Yeah, there you go. You can listen to us, of course, wherever you're listening to this podcast right now, and on Stitcher and Spotify and Anchor and Mashed Potatoes.
Why do they do that? Like you can hear this podcast. You're already listening. You just listen to the place that you've been listening.
If people are maybe they're listening to it in a friend's car. Maybe they don't know how they're listening to the podcast.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's fair.
I don't know. It's what like real podcasters say, so we say it.
Yeah.
We like to be real. Here.
Smash that subscribe button, y'all.
Yeah.
Smash it. Smash it hard.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?